This is Roger Stone for American Sovereign Bullion. Since 2020, the U.S. dollar has lost over 20% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold continues to rise. Call 844-272-2428 or go to asbgold.com now to get your free gold and silver guide and learn how to protect your wealth with physical gold and silver delivered to your door or held in a gold IRA today. So go to asbgold.com now. Don't wait for the markets to drop. That's asbgold.com.
In the squadron, they called him Bullets, but we call him Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly is on the air
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, here we are, and I'm sorry, but I find this totally and completely fascinating as the president goes through the details of the decision-making, the operation, and just all of it is just spellbinding. I'm going to go back to it in just a second. And also we have this. History has been made. The Artemis II is now farther away from Earth than any human beings have ever been, the crew inside. 248,655 miles. That's how far they are from home. How about that one? They're actually not that close to the moon. They're 4,000 miles away from the moon. I don't know how that works, but all right, I want to go back to the White House if you don't mind, please. Take it live. Live, we'll do it live. Yes. When I said live, I mean live.
He chose Iran over Israel, pure and simple. How Israel can vote for a Democrat is if you're Jewish in New York City or any place else in this country, and how you can vote for a Democrat is unbelievable because he chose Iran, a very hostile Iran. Remember when he filled up a 757 with cash, billions of dollars of cash, and he sent it over to them. Then they gave them tens of billions of dollars. He chose Iran over Israel and really the Arab world, if you look, because, you know, the other, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE. I mean, you take a look. I mean, I can add Kuwait and I can add Bahrain, and you can add others. He chose such an unlikely candidate. Nobody could believe it. Frankly, if you're going to choose between Iraq and Iran, he should have befriended Iraq. He went in the exact opposite direction of all thinking, and he made a terrible mistake. But that was a road to a nuclear weapon. And when I terminated that, everyone said, oh, he terminated it. It was one of the best things we ever did because he had a road to a nuclear weapon. And it was a very short-term deal. You know, countries don't do 10-year deals. Countries do hundreds of years. You don't do a 10-year deal. For a country, this isn't, you're a landlord and you're renting a store on a certain street and you give somebody a 5-year or 10-year lease. This is a country. It was a short-term deal. It was ready to expire. I terminated it before it expired. It took a lot of heat, and it was one of the best things I ever did because he would have had a nuclear weapon. Then he would have had another nuclear weapon, had those beautiful B-2 bombers not gone in 8 months ago and obliterated that site. And by the way, the word is obliteration. CNN said, well, maybe it wasn't complete. It was so complete that they still haven't been able to get it. It was obliteration. But if we didn't hit them, that was a courageous decision, too, because we had all those planes flying in at night with very little cover, unbelievable stealth planes, and they were able to do their job. If we didn't do that, Iran would have had a nuclear weapon at a high level, either one of those two instances. And if they did, in my opinion, I told this to Bibi Netanyahu yesterday, Israel would have been extinguished. Large portions of the Middle East would have been extinguished, whether it's Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, or others. And you saw that with thousands of missiles raining down upon them. They didn't think they were going to be hit. They thought they'd be watching us fight. And all of a sudden, UAE got hit by 1,500 missiles. He would have taken them out also. And they were powerful. If I didn't come along and terminate the Obama deal, which was terrible, the Iran nuclear deal was a road to a nuclear weapon, a big one, unlimited, legally. I terminated it without even much thought. It was so easy. I terminated that, and then the B-2 bombers. And I did one other thing. I had killed Qasem Soleimani, who was an evil genius. And the reason I did it, I heard he was going to knock out 5 of our military bases. And had he lived, I believe we would be fighting perhaps a different Iran right now, because he's never been replaced, you know. And I did one other, but this one was not picked up. Osama bin Laden. If you read my book, I said you got to take him out 1 year before the World Trade Center came down. So I wish you'd read the book. But you, as a president, to be a good president, I believe you have to have good instincts. And a lot of this is instinct. Yeah, please.
Thank you so much for taking my question, Mr. President. Last week you suggested that Europe should take the lead on reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Has circumstances changed now that you're issuing a direct 48-hour ultimatum? And secondly, would a new ceasefire include Israel, or would it just be between Iran and the US?
I can't talk about ceasefire, but I can tell you that we have a active, willing participant on the other side. They would like to be able to make a deal. I can't say any more than that.
You've listed the goals. Excuse me.
Please, go ahead.
You've listed the goals.
Who you with?
My name is Dia Kurda. I'm with the largest Kurdish media outlet, Ruda Media Network. It's based in Iran.
Go ahead.
Mr. President, you said before that you don't want the Kurdish forces to enter Iran and be harmed. Do you still want them to stay away? Or what role do you expect them to play now?
I'd rather have them stay away. I'd rather have them stay away because I think they bring with them some problems and some difficulties. And I don't think they bring death, to themselves. But I'd rather have them stay away. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President, for the question. Deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure violate the Geneva Conventions and international law.
Who are you with?
I'm with the New York Times. Zolan from the New York Times. Are you
failing?
Are you concerned?
Circulation way down at the New York Times.
Are you concerned that your threat to bomb power plants and bridges amount to
No, not at all. No, I'm not. I hope I don't have to do it. But again, I just said 47 years they've been negotiating with these people. They're great negotiators, and because they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. And if somebody that takes my place someday is weak and ineffective, which possibly that will happen because we had numerous presidents that were weak, ineffective, and afraid of Iran, we're never going to let Iran have a nuclear weapon. And if you think it's okay for people that are sick of mind, that are tough, smart, and sick, really sick, from a policy standpoint, from a standpoint, any which way you want to say, mentally, these are disturbed people. If you think I'm going to allow them, and powerful and rich, to have a nuclear weapon, you can tell your friends at the New York Times, not going to happen.
It means violating international law.
Quiet. You no longer have credibility at the New York Times because the New York Times said, Trump won't win the election, and I won in a landslide. I won every swing state. New York Times said, Trump won't win the election. New York Times has no credibility. The credibility they have is it used to be all the news that's fit to print. The old gray lady, it was great, but they're running on past fumes, and you can't keep doing that. You have to be able to give the correct news, and people like you, who I know, are fake. You're fake. Go ahead, please.
Your messaging on the war has moved from the war is coming to an end to war going to be bombing Iran to the Stone Ages, right. And we've heard a range of those kind of messages. So which is it? Are you winding this down, or are you escalating?
I can't tell you. I don't know. I can't tell you. It depends what they do. This is a critical period. They have a period of, till tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I gave them an extension. They asked for an extension of 7 days, right? I said, Steve, give them 10 days. 10 days is up actually today, so I gave them 11, I guess, indirectly. I thought it was inappropriate the day after Easter. I want to be a nice person. They have till tomorrow. Now, we'll see what happens. I can tell you they're negotiating, we think, in good faith. We're going to find out. We're getting the help of some incredible countries that want this to be ended because it affects them also. A lot of people are affected by this. But we're giving them we're giving them till tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, and after that, they're going to have no bridges, they're going to have no power plants. Stone Ages, yeah. Stone Ages. CNN fake news.
Are you willing to make a deal that does not include reopening the Strait of Hormuz, or is that now a top priority?
I would say it's a very big priority because, see, that's one thing that's a little different than other things. We can bomb the hell out of them. We can knock them out for a loop. But to close the strait, all you need is one terrorist that somehow has a truck loaded with, because you can carry them in trucks, large trucks, a water mine, drop them in the water, and now you tell people that own ships that cost $1 billion to don't worry about the mine. You can do that even just by saying we put mines in the water. So it's not like the rest. We can knock out their military. We already have. We've knocked out their Navy. We've knocked out their Air Force completely. We've knocked out 158 ships in 3 days. We've knocked out even their mine droppers. They don't have any mine droppers anymore, but they put them on other boats, and they could drop them. I'm not even sure they have any mines there, by the way. I'm not sure. I'm personally, they say there might be 8. I don't know. I think there might be none because they're very good bullshit artists. That's why for 47 years they've been bullshitting other presidents, and they haven't done the job. And people are living in hell. You live in that country, they're living in hell. No, I think that 47 years of this stuff is long enough. They're at the weakest point they've ever been. They have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft weaponry, they have no radar, they have no communication. In fact, the biggest problem we have in our negotiation is that they can't communicate. I said to Steve, what are they saying? Sir, they can't communicate. They have no method of communication. So we're communicating like they used to communicate 2,000 years ago with children, bringing a note back and forth. They have no communication. But all I want to see is I want to have a safe world. And you're not going to have a safe world. Israel will be gone. The Middle East will be gone. And then they're coming for Europe. And I have to tell you, I'm very disappointed in NATO. Very. I think that NATO... I think it's a mark on NATO that will never disappear in my mind. You know, they're coming to see me on Wednesday. They're going to say, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. Now they all of a sudden want to send things, you know. But they said it loud and clear at the beginning. When I spoke to UK of all, I would have said they would have been the first because they're the oldest. And I say, yeah, I'd love to have a little help. He said, no, sir, we'd rather wait till you win. I said, I don't need help after we win. They have 2 old broken aircraft carriers, barely work. I said, I guess we can use them. Who the hell knows? I called the general. He didn't even want them. He said, we don't really need them. We got the SS Abraham Lincoln, sir. We don't need them. Do you know, we have, in terms of technology, we had one day 101 missiles going at 2,700 miles an hour, aimed at the Abraham Lincoln. 101 missiles. Out of 101 missiles, 101 missiles were shot down. Unbelievable technology. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't know if that would have been possible. But 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been possible. 101 missiles heading to a ship that's not that far off the coast. And out of the 101 missiles, we shot down all 101. We have weaponry. The Patriots are unbelievable. We have weaponry that's unbelievable, yeah.
Just to clarify.
Go ahead, please. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said earlier today during the egg roll that you would like to take Iran's oil, but Americans want U.S. forces home.
Correct.
What's that trade-off?
If I had my choice, yeah, because I'm a businessman first. With Venezuela, as you know, the war was over in about 45 minutes. And we have great people running Venezuela, very good people. I mean, the relationship is good. And we are a partner with Venezuela. And we've taken hundreds of millions of barrels, hundreds of millions. Over 100 million barrels already is in Houston, refined and out. And paid for that war many, many times over. Many times over. You know, the old days, to the victim. Okay? You know that. To the to the winner belong the spoils, go the spoils. And I've said, why don't we use it? To the victor go the spoils. And we don't have that. We haven't had that in this country probably in 100 years, because even the Second World War, you look at the Second World War, we didn't have it with the Second World War. We helped rebuild all those countries. We rebuilt Germany. How about Germany telling us that, well, it's not their war. We had nothing to do with it. They wanted me to go and tell them everything I was doing. We didn't know anything about it. Well, if I would have told them, they would have leaked it, and we wouldn't have been nearly as successful, possibly, right? But to the victor belong the spoils. So we haven't heard that in, I think, maybe hundreds of years. Now with Venezuela, and we, just so you understand, the people of Venezuela.
He's on fire. He's been at it for over an hour. We'll be right back. Many thanks.
This is Greg Kelly. Donate now to Toys for Tots, which works year-round. Go to toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots supports children in need throughout the year with programs like the Toys for Tots Literacy Program. Established in 2008, it has provided over 63 million books to disadvantaged children. The Toys for Tots Literacy Program is committed to providing disadvantaged children with direct access to books and educational resources that enhance their ability to read and communicate effectively. Go to toysfortots.org.
Greg Kelly
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
President Trump is mad at the leaker. There was a leaker who put out information. We thought it was just one pilot, and then this leaker said, no, there are two pilots. People didn't know that. All right, pump up the volume one more time. This is epic.
Trial. I mean, he released, aside from the drugs, which he was terrible, Maduro released hundreds of thousands of people from jails into our country. Drug dealers, murderers, the worst people in the world were released into our country because we had a stupid president who probably didn't know, and we had a border czar who never went to the border and never once called our great Border Patrol agents, right? Not once, Kamala. She never called the Border Patrol. She never said, how are we doing? I used to call the Border Patrol guys every day. You can ask them, Paul, ask any one of them. Brandon, ask them all the time, how are we doing? And we now, I'm proud to say, have a totally sealed border. 9 months, nobody is coming through our border. And nobody even tries because they know they're not going to get through. So we don't have caravans anymore. So maybe one or two more and we'll be done.
Mr. President, are you allowed to, or are you willing to end this conflict with Iran charging tolls for passage through the strait?
Us charging tolls?
Iran.
What about us charging tolls?
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right? Why shouldn't we? We're the winner. We won, okay? They are militarily defeated. The only thing they have is the psychology of, we're going to drop a couple of mines in the water, all right? No, we have a concept where we'll charge tolls, okay? I thought you meant us. Your question would have been more accurate if you said us. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. So just to clarify, in order for Iran to successfully meet your deadline tomorrow, do they have to make a deal, open the strait, or both?
We have to have a deal that's acceptable to me.
A deal that is acceptable to him, the President of the United States. I can live with that. I like it. Be right back.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, they are taking a couple of victory laps here, and that's fine. We got our guy out of a war zone, and Iran wanted to find him first, and that guy'd be in a world of hurt right now if the Iranians got him. We got him, and that's what we do. We get our guys out. We get them out even when they're dead, by the way. There have been people who have won the Medal of Honor for heroism displayed in retrieving a dead body. It has happened before. President Trump is, we've already won. The only thing they got is the psychology of the strait, the psychology of it, not the reality. It's a very interesting way to put it. And he said, well, what about tolling people? Would there be a toll for the Strait of Hormuz? Could Iran somehow financialize the Strait of Hormuz, charge ships a toll? He's like, well, maybe we'll charge a toll. Maybe we'll do that. It's interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. All right. Now, two things I want to do. I want to play this. Savannah Guthrie is back on the Today Show, and it's very odd to me, actually, but, that's up to her. I want to go to Jerry in New Jersey. Yes, sir.
Hey, Greg. Pleasure speaking with you again. I was so proud. My buddies and I got the news yesterday. We were so proud that everything worked out. Because I was just saying to one of them, boy, what an Easter that family must be having, worrying about whether or not their father, their brother, their comrade in arms, whatever, is still missing. And when I heard that he was plucked out, my God, it was such a sigh of relief. And my big question about this is the involvement with the CIA. Now, is the CIA involved heavily in bringing in Kurdish underground folks, or what was their purpose in this whole thing? Because I wasn't listening to the news conference.
Well, it's a good question, actually. What's his name? Radcliffe, the CIA director, spoke first, and information was sent by the CIA to the White House. Let me see, because I read that this morning. It seemed very the kind of thing that, oh, wait, hold on a second. Hold everything. Wait, damn it. Oh, shoot. I thought it said the opposite. Iran rejects ceasefire bid ahead of Trump's deadline. I thought it said accepted. They rejected it. All right, let me just see where the CIA was mentioned in here. It just makes sense that they would, have, intelligence, and they would share it, and they've got satellite technology, and they're looking down. Central Intelligence. Just give me 1 second. Sorry about this. Shoot. I'm going to find it. The Pentagon, this is the worst case scenario. Trump was in the Oval Office soon after he landed. Complex mission, U.S. redirected aircraft. The first attempt was aborted. 2 MC-130s. Time was of the essence. The CIA also helped with the operation. After using its capabilities to pinpoint the aviator's location to a mountain crevice, which is a senior administration official described as like finding a needle in a haystack, the agency shared that information with the Pentagon. White House continued to feed real-time information over the course of the operation. I don't know, quite frankly, if it's all that. I mean, look, if you have one of those things from your Apple, you know what I mean? If you have an iPhone, it could figure out where you are. But, everybody wants a piece of the success. But I don't know. I appreciate it, pal. Let's do one more. Then I want to do the Savannah Guthrie stuff. Gail is in Pennsylvania. Hi.
Hi, Greg. I just wanted to say I think it speaks to President Trump's character that he did go after that one airman. I think back to Hillary and Obama, who left our people in Benghazi, and she even saying, what difference does it make? And then there's like others. Bill Clinton left people hanging in Somalia. I think Obama left them in Libya. And then look what Biden did in Afghanistan, So it speaks to President Trump's character. And the fact that they complain, a few helicopters were lost. Look at the money. Well, the Biden cabal left, billions in weaponry and that most important Air Force base next to our main enemy of China.
Yeah, listen, I agree for the most part, but I'm going to point this out. Especially Hillary Clinton. Yeah, he's dead. What difference does it make? Remember that? The only thing I'm going to, and you're right, we left billions of stuff back behind. Unbelievable how badly that was botched. I am going to cut Bill Clinton a little bit of slack, all right? A little bit of slack, because we didn't leave anybody behind in Somalia, all right? We didn't. Now, the whole damn thing was a cluster screw-up, all right? It started under George H.W. Bush. I don't know if you remember that, but it was his decision to send in troops, ground troops, humanitarian mission. It was ill-defined from the get-go. Bill Clinton became president after the troops are already there. A little while after that, Black Hawk Down happens. And we got our guys out. Some of them were dead and that kind of thing. But I don't think you can fairly blame Bill Clinton on that. I also want to point out that Bill Clinton was president when Scott O'Grady got shot down in an F-16 in 1995. And he was involved in the rescue operation. And they got Scott O'Grady out. And do you remember that name at all?
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
Well, it was a big deal. And, I remember hearing that President Clinton at the time had a celebratory cigar on the Truman balcony when they got him. So it was a similar moment. Let's face it, Bosnia wasn't as intense. But, I don't want to just point fingers because of, party labels. And you know who's actually friendly with Bill Clinton right now? Guess.
I don't know.
Donald Trump. They talk all the time. They actually talk all the time. So, you okay with the little perspective I gave you?
I appreciate that. I thank you for clarifying it. Can I say one other thing?
Of course.
There was an astronaut that they were going to let remain, the Biden cabal, whereas I think it was Elon Musk's people got the astronaut.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she was wasting away up there. Wasting away. I can't stand Biden. I remember, and Elon Musk could, and they didn't want him to, or something like that. And remember, she was in trouble up there. Yeah, these people, I put nothing past them. They would rather than give Elon Musk, make him look good, they let that astronaut wither away. Thank you very much, Gail. Let's go to this is Savannah Guthrie back on the Today Show. But first, she made a major announcement. So 2 months ago, her mother goes missing. Can't believe they didn't find her. She's in her mid-80s, and the last anybody knew, she was on her way to a friend's house to watch a church service online. Hasn't been seen since. I don't know if her car, I don't think she ever drove away. And blood was found outside her blood, so we don't know what happened. Still missing. What did she have to say today? Go ahead. Back on the Today Show.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Easter. And Easter is happy. It is flowers and pastels and baby bunnies. It is sunshine and joy and hope. It is rebirth and second chances and new life and fresh starts. It is the most important day of the year for all of us who believe, even more than Christ's birth, more than his death, his resurrection, his second birth into a permanent life. That is what is most crucial to us. His revival and resurrection mean the same for us. We celebrate today the promise of a new life that never ends in death. But standing here today, I have to tell you, there are moments in which that promise seems irretrievably far away, when life itself seems far harder than death. These moments of deep disappointment with God, the feeling of utter abandonment. For most of us, there will come a time in our life when these feelings hold sway. In our tradition, we are taught to take comfort in the fact that our friend, Jesus, in his short life, experienced every single emotion that we humans can feel. That his taking on the form of humanity made him not a distant observer to our pain, but a hands-on experiencer of it. Recently, though, in my own season of trial, I have wondered. I have questioned whether Jesus really ever experienced this particular wound that I feel. This grievous and uniquely cruel injury of not knowing, of uncertainty and confusion, and answers withheld. In those darkest moments, I have thought, bitterly and perhaps irreverently, that I have stumbled upon a feeling that Jesus did not know. After all, don't the gospel stories recount Jesus informing his disciples of his destiny, that he had been sent to die to ultimately be raised up? They didn't get it, but he did. He at least knew his fate. And yes, it grieved him deeply, to the point of shedding tears of blood in the Garden of Gethsemane. But still, he knew the ending. He knew the plan. There would be suffering, but then resurrection. And so I thought, he never suffered this excruciating not knowing. It isn't wrong to think such thoughts, to challenge our God with questions. God does not ask us to be stoics, with standards of pain, with Zen-like remove, or shallow sloganeering about the hard battles God gives to his toughest soldiers. Our questions to God, our wrestling with God, this is his opportunity. For through our authenticity and vulnerability comes a portal of revelation, the imparting of truth and wisdom. And so it went for me, this portal opening as I stared at yet another incongruently luminous desert sunset amidst my spirit's utter darkness. Suddenly I remembered the grave. I remembered 3 days in the grave. No one talks much about that. We focus mostly on Easter. Of course we do. We cut to the happy ending and the joy of Sunday morning. And yes, we do observe the Friday before, the agony of crucifixion. We mourn by candlelight that darkest night. But after Jesus died, after he breathed his last, what did he actually know? On the cross, he cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" That is the anguished cry of someone who does not know the answers. Where did his soul and his spirit go in those days in between? And what was he thinking? Did he think his time in the grave would be a day or two or 1,000 years? In the grave, did his agony seem indefinite to him? That torment of uncertainty, the way indefinite pain can feel eternal? Perhaps he did know this feeling after all. As humans living on this earth now, we are all suspended in that moment of uncertainty. Not 3 days, but thousands of years between his cross and our resurrection with him. Our faith gives us a spiritual conviction that we will be reborn, that God will redeem this pain, that every tear will be wiped away, that our Easter is coming. But we live viscerally in the meantime, the mean time of feeling unsure, lost, abandoned, disappointed, enraged, forgotten. Our comfort is that our God has felt those feelings from a perspective of humanity, that he has compassion on us, and that he promises, if not immediate answers, his sweet presence. He promises closeness to the brokenhearted. Somehow, miraculously, his loving and gentle presence that makes the mean time less mean. Perhaps this is too dark a message to share on Easter morning. But I have long believed that we miss out on fully celebrating resurrection if we do not acknowledge the feelings of loss, pain, and yes, death. It is the darkness that makes this morning's light so magnificent, so blindingly beautiful. It is all the brighter because it is so desperately needed. So I close my eyes this morning and I feel the sunshine. I see a bright vision of the day when heaven and earth pass away because they are one on earth as it is in heaven. When we celebrate today, this is what we celebrate. And I celebrate too. I still believe. And so I say with conviction, Happy Easter.
Wow. Now that was deep and beautiful. I'm sorry, Savannah. At first I was, misled by a couple of news headlines and all that stuff. Hearing your thoughts, and that's a reminder to me to always listen to the whole thing. Never let some jerk summarize it for you. Wow. Hey, Chaplain Richard is standing by. Did you hear what I just heard?
I did, Greg, and she was reading my mind when she pointed out that on the cross, now Jesus knew he was the God-man, God in the flesh, all man, all human, all God. But she pointed out, and this was beautiful, and I'm proud of her, he said to the Father, Abba, Father. why have you forsaken me? And that points out his humanity, and because the God-man knew the plan of salvation, but he still questioned, and that's where the faith steps in. We serve a faith God. This is a faith universe, and Greg, I'm also proud that you are a beacon of light out there in the media, and keep up the good work, really. I'm very, very proud of you, young man, for everything from A to Z.
Oh, wow. Well, Chaplain Richard, I know you're the real deal. Highly educated indeed. Medical doctor, lawyer, or both, was it? Who are you? What was it? MD, right?
I got my MD from Johns Hopkins in 1976, and they keep begging me to come down there for the 50th anniversary of our class graduating. Perhaps I'll pay him a visit.
You should go. You should go. I think that'd be very interesting. And check out the Bloomberg School down there. Anyway, thank you for your kind words. And Savannah Guthrie, we appreciate you. An amazing statement. You don't know how many people, I mean, who knows? Who knows how this all works out? But that was beautiful and very, very helpful. I know to millions of people. We thank you. And thank you, Richard. We'll be right back.
Instagram teen accounts have automatic protections for what teens see and who can contact them, plus time management tools. And Instagram will continue adding built-in safety features to help create age-appropriate experiences. Learn more about teen accounts and Instagram's ongoing work to protect teens online at instagram.com/teen accounts.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, there was a lot of information in that briefing from the President of the United States. Very interesting. Now, what you will see tonight is about 10 seconds of that. 4 hour, 1.5 hour press conference, and they'll have about 10 seconds on the evening news. And it's very good to sit down and watch these things. And that was a great reminder for me, quite frankly, listening to the Savannah Guthrie comments. You know, look, I wasn't obsessed. I made a decision to not be obsessed. Remember when everybody went bananas for the first couple of days, first couple of weeks when she was missing, the mom? At one point, I actually made a formal announcement. I'm like, let me know when you find her. I can't, I got to move on with my life. People were doing wall-to-wall coverage of this, missing 84-year-old person. And it was terrible, but, I don't know what good it was for the whole country to be involved. If anything, we were complicating the search, right? It's very hard to do anything with 100 million people watching your every move. The same goes for that sheriff out there, but whatever. We are wrapping up. I'm going to get some very cool videos ready for tonight. And with that, Alan is on the line from Toronto, Canada, of all places. Hello.
Hello, Greg. How are you?
Good. What's going on, man?
Enjoying your show. I didn't call for this, but I could not agree with you more on Savannah Guthrie. That was probably the best eulogy I heard all weekend as an Easter homily. I mean, that was quite moving and deep. So thank you for playing that. I just want to say, I wish Canada was the way it was back in the day. And I'm thinking of a person I know, because I worked in the government at one point, Ken Taylor, who was the ambassador to Iran for Canada, who helped secret away a number of American hostages to the Canadian embassy. And, that was really, we as Canadians, I always held that up as, such a great thing that we helped out doing that. I can't imagine them doing that today. They're not even lifting a finger. And when I hear Trump's press conference, I mean, the man goes on and on. It's absolutely astounding. And I don't know why anyone would not want to have him as their leader.
Hey, you remind me of that whole Canadian thing. That was really, really cool. And thank you for telling me, because I'm going to do something with that tonight. Just a reminder. It's a very, very important moment. Ken Taylor, rest in peace. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for listening to The Greg Kelly Show. You can hear The Greg Kelly Show weekdays at 12:15 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?